Howdy folks, Bluesboyjag here with yet another 4-string cigar box guitar lesson. I'm not sure what to call this, but I guess you would call it a hammer on pull off, maybe a hammer pull. I've called it hammer pulls before. I'm sure somebody's called it that at some point in the past, I don't know, 65 years or so. Anyway, 4-string cigar box guitar tuned to open G. So this is an A string down to G, and a D string to normal to D, and a 3rd string G to normal to G, and a 2nd string B to normal to B. This one obviously is a semi-acoustic electric humbucker pickup, bolt for bridge. Been making them this way for 21 years. Well, almost 21 years. Another month or two. This one's pretty old. I made this one probably 10 or 12 years ago, and it sounded so good I just kept it for myself. Alright, so that's what it sounds like. Open G. And what we're going to be doing here is a hammer and a pull. So I'm strumming all 4 strings, but then I'm going to hammer and pull on the 1st string only, which means hammer, just your fingers slamming your string down on the fret. So I'm going to do a hammer pull, which means I'm hammering and then I'm going to pull off. So real slow. That's what I'm doing on the 1st string. I'm going to be strumming all 4 in a minute, but for now we're just going to concentrate on that 1st string. Then I'm going to pull off to the 2nd string, or hammer to the 2nd string on the 5th fret with my 3rd finger. So real slow. I'm going to be strumming all 4 strings in a minute, but for now I'm just going to be concentrating on that 1st string. Real slow. That last hammer is my 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 5th fret. Sometimes you can hear that other string when I press down and I hammer. So you can hear the other string is resonating in sympathy, which means the other strings are making it resonate. Right there, because we're tuned open. So it's going to catch the vibration of the string and it's going to amplify just a tiny bit. So just the left hand. Real slow. That last note is simply a hammer. I'm not plucking it at all, but the 1st note and the 2nd and the pull off is all done in one quick movement. So that last note I'm not picking at all. I'm only plucking the string once. Oops. And I'm going to be strumming all 4 in a minute, but for now we're just going to concentrate on that 1st one. Now you might accidentally press down one of these other strings, like the top 2 strings, the 2nd and 1st, and that's fine too. So when I do the very 1st strum, I'm strumming all 4 strings. And then I'm going to immediately do a hammer pull. There's your hammer and there's your pull. And another hammer. Real real super slow. If I go real slow, I'm going to lose the note, and it's hard to hear. So it's a hammer, which means I'm going to walk up and a pull and another hammer. But I'm going to be strumming all 4 strings. This is what I call a rake. It's really a strum, but I'm doing one note at a time instead of a big old. It's it's just a real fast strum, but it's not as fast as that. So you can hear the individual notes. That's what I'm getting at. So it's a rake. And here's your rake. Then I'm immediately going to do a hammer on and a pull off and another hammer on. Now I'm going to go back to the open G and the C, which is my first finger on 1-1, and my second finger is going to be on 3-2. That's your Keith Richards lick. Very cool. So if you put it all together, you have real slow. So what you're doing is hammering and then pulling and going to that suspended chord, that Keith Richards. So it's kind of taking that Keith Richards lick a little bit further. Now I'm going to go up to the 7th fret just for something different. So I'm going to add that note to this lick. There's all sorts of different ways you can do that. Of course, you can jump around and move to any other chord you want to, but it works perfectly for the open G tuning. Or when I do that, I'm going back down to that 2nd string, 3rd fret, right there. You see, the sky's the limit with any instrument really, but this is open tune, so I guess you have even more limitless options. Now I'm doing the total Keith Richards thing there. The sky's the limit. Let's throw something in there on the 12th fret. That's the octave G, so that's your high G. Oops. Or come up with all sorts of funky licks right there. Since we're open, you can do those hammer-ons. Now, one cool thing to do for a warm-up is play this crazy fast. So you do... slightly out of tune. That second string. How did that happen? There we go. I'm just jumping up to the 7th fret at the end there. And I'm mushing everything together. Real slow. Well, that wasn't really all that slow, was it? I'm just adding an extra chord here on the 5th fret. That's your C chord. There's all sorts of different permutations on that one. And you can just mess around. One thing about Keith Richards is he loves that suspended chord. That's your first finger on 1-1. Your second finger is going to be on 3-2. I've got tons of lessons on that. That's the same chord, and I'm sure you've heard that a trillion times by Keith Richards and the Strolling Bones. So you just kind of take it one step further, and you have all sorts of different pull-offs and hammer-ons. Here's another one, and I'll let you go. So what I'm doing here, upstrum, and I'm pulling off that first string, 3rd fret, and I'm putting my first finger on 2-3 and doing an upstrum, and I'm choking with this hand. Funky, funky, funky. Mess around and all this stuff will pop out and you'll be like, wow, that sounds pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and check out my website, bluesboyjag.com. Cigar box guitars for 21 years, and we'll see you next time.